it is a very sad day for Iran. It is a very sad day when you think of Iranian revolution in 1979. It is a very, very sad day. It is a slap on the mullah's regime. It is a sad day because Muslim world has to watch women shredding their hijabs, and with the shredding of hijabs, they are also voicing against the Islamic rule in Iran. This was not supposed to be. We remember the time when Iran saw the Iranian Islamic Revolution in 79. But what happened? Quran says there is no compulsion in religion. La ikra fid din. And it also says, Lakum dinukum waliyadin. That whoever wants to follow his own religion, they can. To you is your way, and to me is mine. But the mullah regime of Iran overdid it. They didn't take lesson from history. So if you don't take lesson from history, history will repeat itself to teach you a lesson. That's what happened in Iran. The so-called enforcement of morality by the moral police in Iran pushed the Iranian Muslims to the brink of another revolution. Now, the time is a revolution, a counter-revolution against the Islamic rule of Iran. The autocratic, dictatorial rule of the mullahs. It's a shame not only for the Muslims in Iran, but it's a shame for the Muslims around the world. It's a sad day. We were always told that Islam frees women. We were always told that Islam upholds the dignity of the women. As an ex-Muslim, I'm still culturally a Muslim. I do believe in God, but I don't believe in the Islamic Allah. Most of my friends and family members are Muslims. So, I feel sad to see Islam has come to this stage where women are leaving Islam in droves, not because simply they don't like Islam, but they are rebelling against it. It was supposed to come anyway. I could see it forthcoming. But why couldn't it be an easy process? Like, you don't like the religion? Give it up. This proves, unfortunately, sadly, that Islam and Islamic rules, they want to bite into your whole existence. They don't want to let you go. So what do you have to do? You have to scream. You have to rebel. And you have to fight for your freedom. So it's a sad day. Why did it have to come to this? This moral policing comes from various verses of the Quran, where the Quran says that when you see something bad or immoral, wrong, you should try to stop it. And if you see something good, you should support it and facilitate that. Surah 3, verse 104, Surah 3, verse 110, Surah 9, verse 71, Surah 9, verse 112. Surah 31, verse 17. You forbid what is wrong and you call to people to what is good. But who enforces that? Society, humanity, government, but with the permission of the common people. To the level of public life. But you do not enforce religiosity into someone's personal life. You do not interfere in someone's personal choices. Because if you do, it is the human nature to rebel against it. When we're told that we can't travel outside our country, we rebelled against it. We wrote Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right to leave our own domains. Don't you remember Soviet Union, when even the Russian diplomats, the Soviet bureaucrats, they became defectors. And we were told that we can't win over the ocean. But we did. We sailed from one end to the other. Then we're told that we can't fly out of this world. And we did. And now we have even crossed the limits of this solar system. So it is the human nature to go against anything which we are forced to accept. Wearing a hijab should be a personal choice. I'm not against anyone choosing to wear hijab. But if someone is forced to wear hijab, whether in private life or in public life, they will obviously go against their own choices as well. Because they will not wear a hijab even when they know, or even religious duty, as they say. Why? Because it's the human nature to go against any form of pressure. Now it has transpired into leaving Islam in droves. Thousands of Iranian men and women have left Islam. And the mullahs and the religious clergy, they are responsible for it. They forced Muslims out of Islam in millions. So, why don't you rather read a very nice verse from the Quran, Surah 5, verse 105. O believers, you are accountable only for yourselves. It will not harm you if someone chooses to deviate, as long as you are rightly guided. To Allah you will return, and He will inform you what you used to do. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. That you have to go back to Allah. If that's the case, dear Muslim brothers and sisters, why do you want to suffocate people with Islam? It doesn't harm you at all whether someone remains a Muslim or gives it up. If someone becomes more ritualistic, or even decides, or if someone decides not to follow any rituals. So it's a shame. This reminds me of the European Enlightenment and the eventual French Revolution, Bolshevik Revolution, and other freedom movements against the Christian clergy. Ibn Tufayl was a Muslim philosopher who had influenced the teacher of John Locke, the very John Locke who had influenced European Enlightenment. The Hizbah system in Islam, or the doctrine of forbidding someone from doing anything wrong or immoral, is rather against the Quran, because this Hizbah doctrine emanated from Islamic scholar Imam Ghazali, who was rather inspired by a hadith where Muhammad allegedly had said that if you see something wrong, try to stop it with your hands. If you can't, then use your mouth. And even then, if you can't, then hate it from your heart. But I would say, rather, if you see something wrong, try to use your words first. And if you can't, then use a reasonable force with the approved parameters set by the law of the land. And if you fail, then take the help of the court of the law. And if you still can't stop what is wrong, then campaign against it, as guaranteed in your democratic rights, enshrined in your constitution. So, dear Muslims and Muslim scholars, if you don't want to see the ripple effect of this tsunami of ex-Muslims in Iran, and if you don't want to see Muslims leaving Islam in millions, then give them the freedom of choice to accept or reject any religious instruction. Because, as I said, Surah 5, verse 105, it shouldn't bother you. If it bothers at all, let Allah bother about it. It reminds me of Lysistrata, the comedy written by Aristophanes of Greece in the 5th century BC, where women stopped having sex with their male partners until they had agreed to peace treaties with their adversaries. So if you force women to the corner, that's it. You don't have the power to control them. Your male chauvinism will fail miserably. If you hit women, the men in their lives will cripple you. So don't make the women angry. You can't handle them. And you'll be shocked that being a man to a woman, you are nothing.